What's going on, guys? I'm going to do a quick overview here of a skateboard that I had built for me recently. Kind of talk about some of the specs, some of the options that you have if you have a build done by this company. Walk through, some of the components that I chose for this, and kind of just give you an idea of what a board like this, what you can get on a board like this. Start off, who made it? It's a company called Kaly NYC. It's just one guy in his shop. His name's Ernesto. He lives in the Bronx. He makes a lot of the stuff in-house. He also has some of his own components that you can buy if you wanted to do a build like this. He's a really nice guy. I talked to him for an hour before I had this built, and we text back and forth throughout the process. I really recommend him if you want a board, a Trampa setup like this. So let's go ahead and just start walking through what some of the components are here. So I'll just give you a quick view of the board. So as you can see, there are bindings on it. It's a Trampa deck. You can see the motor mounts, the all-terrain tires. So basically what this is he calls it a Kaly NYC Trampa street carve. The street carve is the deck style. They've been making mountain boards for a long time, and now they have an urban carver and a street carver. And the urban carver is kind of meant for more all-terrain wheels, whereas the street carver, which is this board, can be kind of switched between the two if you want. You could definitely get this build in the ABEC 11 flywheels because of the motor mounts, the way they're designed. You can take these off. I think it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to swap them out. The freeboard bindings that you see here, there's little threaded inserts inside the deck. I'm going to do a ride video with these bindings on. They're not my favorite. I kind of like riding without them, but to each their own. They're kind of close in. I might have wanted them mounted a little bit farther out like this one is. There's a little bit less grip tape here for that binding. So most of the time I'm not going to ride without them, but I'll do a video riding with them just so you can kind of see what the stance is like. So this is a street carved deck. It's 15 ply. You can get it in 14, 15, or 16 depending on your weight and your riding style. This is kind of right in the middle, 15 ply. These are called Vertigo. I think they're mini Vertigo trucks. So obviously they have spring suspensions. You can change the suspension tightness with these adjustments here. I think you can get these in a lot of different colors. He went with a red and black theme, which is pretty cool. But yeah, those are called the mini Vertigo trucks with red springs. Obviously these are made by Trampa as well. These are the 7-inch pneumatic tires. I think he got the bearings from them as well. They're ABEC 5s. I'm pretty sure he got them from Trampa as well. So some of the components he just ordered straight from Trampa. Talk about the battery a little bit. So the battery, let me flip this up. This is one of my favorite parts about this build is how he did this. So as you can see, because the deck is meant to flex, he made 4 separate enclosures. Now they're actually cut if you look closely, but they're all sealed with a couple different layers of, I think he used, you can kind of see there's a sealant in there. It's pretty waterproof. And he has a pretty accurate cutter, a guillotine cutter to kind of make these. But what he did was he jumped on the board and determined where the inflection points were. So where the board really flexes, he put separate enclosures. So I think most of these are batteries. This is a 12S4P, so there's 48 cells in there. They're Samsung 25Rs. So they're not the best cells, but they've been used in a lot of DIY builds. They're really, really good cells. They can handle a lot. There's a 60 amp battery management system in here as well. There's an LED battery indicator, so you just hit that and you can see that's a full battery. Everything's really clean. It looks really nice. This enclosure is definitely my favorite part with a carbon fiber look to it. There's an XT90 loop key, which is kind of how you turn the board on. Basically you plug the loop key into there to get the board to go. And there's your laptop style plug. And like I said, it uses 25Rs. It also uses 2 Ollin VESCs, the 4.12 Ollin VESCs, so great VESCs, really good quality stuff. The motors are massive. So these are branded by his company, Kaly NYC. These are dual 6374 190 kV motors. So when I'm riding my Metro board, it's 163.74, and I think it's 90 kV. So these things, when I ride this, I mean, it's faster than I would ever want to go. And with these big tires, I can get over 30 miles an hour. I'll post some footage of that later. So here you see the motors. They're beastly. He also sells 6355s. I might bump down to those to get a little bit better range. A little bit less kV, I think. I'm not sure. So the motor mounts, he made these in-house. He makes these with his Carve. I think these are 1/4 inch, and then that's a 1/2 inch thick. He uses 4 set screws to kind of mount it to the truck, the Trampa truck. But he's got some black anodized mounts coming in that are a little bit cleaner, a little bit thinner. He's sending them to me. I'm going to go through the fun process of taking these ones off and putting those on just to kind of see. They'll probably look a lot better with the black anodizing. The pulleys in here, he had those manufactured as well. They're black. Again, like I said, you can get this in an ABEC 11 build as well. I'm probably going to get the conversion kit. And I think you just slide these motors forward a little bit because the pulley's obviously a lot smaller on the ABEC 11s. Right now he's waiting on the pulleys to be made because he has some 3D printed ones, but I don't think they're very reliable that snap in. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, these lights. So I'm sure people have heard of the Blitzu lights. I made some modifications. Usually this light mounts to a bike tube, so there was like a curved piece on the end. I used a Dremel, I cut it off, and then I countersunk a screw and just mounted that light in there, so it's removable. I can pull that light out, but as you can see, you know, they're pretty bright. So you got nice lights that slide in and out for charging. I really like this option. You can also turn them on to flashing as well. So, you know, if you want a backlight that flashes so cars can see you, or a faster flash. Yeah. It's really a solid setup. It's got everything I need. As far as the range goes, I'm going to do a range test. I'm also going to do some speed tests in a separate video. Basically, so it's a 12S4P battery. So that's 43.2 volts for the full pack, 10 amp hours for the 4P. So the difference is my Metro board was a 10S 4P and it had 288 watt hours. This one has 432 watt hours. Obviously, so I mean, with only a few more cells, these are 2.5 amp hours per cell, and I think the Metro board had 2 amp. So you really need it when you have these big beefy motors and you have these big tires. I'm hoping I can get 15 miles on this thing. I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to do some hill climbs, a range test, put some speed on there so you guys can see how this thing performs. Remote, it's just a mini 2.4 gigahertz remote. I removed the wheel, so I use this with the Metro board. Love it. It's fine. It's great. Charger, so it's 50.4, 12 volt, or I'm sorry, 12S, 50.4 volt, 4 amp charger. So it charges it pretty quickly. It takes like an hour and a half, maybe 2. But this thing is loud. There's a huge fan in it because it puts out a lot of power. As far as how to turn it on, you know, it's pretty simple. You just take the loop key here, push it all the way in, and that's essentially your power. So let me flip it over. Maybe show you how fast this thing. So that's it. I turn on the remote, and then you could see how powerful it is. I mean, it is ridiculous. That's half throttle. So, also when I'm riding this thing, right when I get to around 18 or 19 miles an hour, which is what I'm used to riding on the Metro board, it hits a second acceleration curve, and like I think I've gotten it up to 28 miles an hour, and it keeps pushing. So it goes through grass and rocks and everything just really nicely. I'm gonna put some silicone around here, around the outputs from the VESC. He told me to do that. He hadn't done that yet. But for the most part, this thing is just awesome. As far as the flex goes, it is flexy, but I don't really get speed wobbles that bad when I'm riding. But if I get on it, you know, and jump, you can see it flexes quite a bit. And that battery pack built that way is really nice. So like I said, I'm going to throw the new anodized black motor mounts on there, probably take the bindings off. It's just really a nice build. I really like it. So if you have any questions about this, or if you want to reach out to him, send me a message, post a comment. I'm happy to put you in contact with him. His name's Ernesto. Really responsive, really smart guy. And I'd love to give him business because he built me an awesome board. So, yep, thanks guys.